Hello gamers, I'm here to show you another map I've done. This time it's a Zelda map. It has nothing to do with my weird D&D setting. Yeah, it's just Zelda. Yeah, I will say right up front, this uses some references. This is basically the main continent that I've used is basically the out-of-bounds area of Breath of the Wild with this little bit of Donjon, which is a online D&D generator thing, and it lets you make a world generator. This peninsula that I turned into Labrina and some other stuff is is something that I added to it. And then the southern continent and the eastern continent are from a boundary break video. They're sort of they look like continents, you can see. And then from there, I spent a shit ton of time working on adding details and adding heights, and I will tell you, only adding all of the cliffs you see here, that took 24 hours of non-consecutive work during a fucking heat wave, and it sucked huge dick. But anyways, I'm a big Zelda fan. I haven't played every game, because there's too many, and I don't even have a Nintendo console anymore. But I do love the series, I do love the setting, I do love, Zelda. One of the first games I played was Wind Waker. That's still one of my favorite games of all time. And Breath of the Wild is, along with a couple others, the best open world game I've ever played. And I wanted to do a Zelda map for years, but I didn't know what to include beyond the Breath of the Wild map, and I wanted to include every single thing from Zelda ever before I even, and it was like, no, that's insanity. I would go insane. But I have decided to sort of do the whole collating different Zelda things together, and that's what this is. It's got stuff from Zelda 2, Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, CDI games, comics, all sorts of shit. And I guess the best place to start is just Hyrule, This, you can tell that not only is this continent the out of bounds of Breath of the Wild, which has this actual weird shape. And by the way, this is primarily based on a map of the out of bounds by someone named Speedygamingfan on Reddit. So I should always make sure that that's clear. But I sort of extended Hyrule to the north here, so that this weird rift between Hyrule and the lands beyond the borders of the game, I decided to keep that because it's weird and interesting. But I also used an official map that's not from any game to extend Hyrule eastward. And I've included multiple regions, right? You've got stuff all over here. You've got stuff from Twilight Princess, the city in the sky of the Uka tribe, the weird human-headed chicken people with nipples. You've got the old graveyard that Dampy lives at. I know in Ocarina he's in Kakariko, but in Four Swords Adventures, which is where this music is coming from, he's in a swamp. So I like that. Minish Village, right? I loved Minish Cap. I never beat it, because I don't think I owned it ever, but I played it a lot at my brother's house. Castletown, decided to put that in Lake Hylia. Various, Lon Lon Ranch, Mabe. I decided to try and give each village sort of its own unique colors and items. Kakariko Village is a little more Japanese. It's got these red roofs. Mabe is a little bit of a different color. Onlon Ranch, it's kind of hard to tell there actually. The old graveyard, you can kind of see it's a different color. The Forest Minish Village, if you need me to explain why you can't see the Minish Village from the sky, I will say you should play Minish Cap. But actually the answer is they're really small. Saria Town, of course, that's got to be green. There's a lot of interpretation here on what things should be, as well as compiling stuff from the out of bounds of Breath of the Wild, and also fan theories and pieces of fan creation and stuff like that. Like, I think Annie Austin called this the Duval Cliff. Sorry, that was my phone. I think Annie Austin called this the Duval Cliff, or someone did. You know, you got Headstone Peak and Gale Peak. Those are what were flooded in Wind Waker. Those are the Wind and the Earth Temple. This, by the way, is sort of my version of like post everything that's ever happened ever, and it's like all the timelines are fused, because why not? Zunari's merchant ship, right? With like the weird quasi-Inuit guy. I'll keep the thing here. We'll use that. I added Tolemac. That's from the fucking CDI game that everyone forgets about. That's the top-down one with the live-action cutscenes instead of the cartoon cutscenes. I have a whole bunch of stuff from that. Mount Crenel and the Wind Tribe Palace and the Four Sword Sanctuary. That's all in Minish Cap, although actually I don't think the Four Sword Sanctuary is. That's in the Four Swords games, which Minish Cap is one of them. You get the Four Sword in it. But yeah, Mount Crenel is from that and all that. Village of the Blue Maiden is from Four Swords Adventures, and so is the Eastern Temple. I love the artwork, the pixel art in that game. I've only appreciated it recently, but yeah, it's really pretty. Tingle's Shack. This is where he and his two younger twin brothers and his man-slave, David Jr., and his girl boss wife that pays for all of his stupid bullshit and it will inevitably divorce him. That's where they live. He's got a big floating thing. You can't see it, but it's supposed to be a tower. Like a tower airship, sort of. Just giving all the different places different colors, based on the names, if it's a Zelda 2, or like, based on an image I find in it online. Beatles Air Shop. This looks significantly better because of the low pixels. Yeah, it looks way goofier. Lurelin. Ordon from Twilight Princess, I decided it's because they talk about Hyrule like it's outside of it, so I'm like, that's just its own kingdom, the Gerudo Highlands is mostly just the Breath of the Wild stuff. But then, outside of Hyrule proper, we got the Lost Woods with the Deku Scrub tribe from Four Swords Adventures, who are like, oh yeah, we love Ganon, man. We think he's awesome. We can't wait for him to return. And when I got to that level, and that was the last level I ever got to in that game, I got stuck on it. I was like, okay, Ganon's going to be the villain of this game, because they mentioned him. North Castle from Zelda 2, that's where you start. This is traced, obviously, from Breath of the Wild. This is the Rose Domain. Koroks and Kokiris and Deku Scrubs. I made Goron City kind of rusty and weird looking, because I thought it was cool. And beyond that, you got Kalatia. It's from a comic series. It's from the Valiant Comics. Lizalfos Camp, I just figured I'd place one there, or there's like the weird imprint of one when you go to this giant canyon sea, which is in the Outer Bounds area. It's really weird looking though. 3 craters. There's 3 weird looking craters in this area. I decided to put Hollow Drum right here. You got Goron Village, Eyeglass Pond, which I drew very badly. I haven't played this game, so I didn't add much, but and there's the Hollow Drum Goron tribe. They have their own cool looking volcano land, and a couple of mazes, because there was a couple of mazes up on this big hill when the person I was watching got to it. Arcadia, that's from the Deke cartoon, which is terrible. And the only thing I can say about Arcadia is that they're vain and they're British, which I'm not going to say that that's the same thing, because I'm American, and that would be hypocritical. I think we and England are one of the few countries where when people ask, what would God think about your political views, they're like, he would agree. I think that's not a universal thing, but oh well. Watarara Valley, this is from Ocarina of Time manga by Akira Himakawa. This is the bird people that influenced the Rito, and I think they are cooler than the Breath of the Wild Rito, which is why back over here where I should have looked, in the Hebra Mountains, the Rito tribe, it's Dragon Roost. It's the more human-looking Ritos, and then over here you got the Yetis from the Princess, of course. Oh, and also the Hytopian Plain, which is this big, weird, hilly place to the north of Hyrule, you can kind of see, and I decided to place Hytopia there, because Hytopia is supposed to be north of Hyrule, and then the Drablands, which is a thing from that, and then Yona's Zora's Domain, which is a place we know of in the lore, but we never see or even get a name for it. Another maze. The Tantari Desert. This plain is huge. It's just like this huge plain that sort of slopes down to the beach of the north. There's a big crater there. Zudari Isle. I just can't do that. That was hard. The map, I think, by Speedygamingfan, is that what the name is? Let me check. Let me check my references so I can give proper credit to the person whose thing I changed. Speedygamingfan, I'm sorry, I'm a fucking idiot. Anyways, yeah, he named this Akala Bay. I don't think it's a he, I shouldn't assume that, but I named this Akala Bay instead, and put Wonderdraft Bay up there. Because I'm not really trying to do exactly Breath of the Wild and everything that's in Breath of the Wild. And then you got the Stormy Straits, which is from Zelda 2, between the main continent and the eastern one. Horadai, according to the Zelda Wiki, the good one. There's not that many people who live on this island, so I was like, okay, good enough for me. So it's just this little island, there's not much there. Gamelon has a lot more people. It has like 2 villages, Kobaton and Aruhainu, and like Sakado, which is a town, and then it's got like a tower prison. And these islands are also from Outer Bounds in Breath of the Wild, which is why there's these tiny islands below them that don't seem to have any purpose, because they don't. You got the Great Hyrulean Sea, which for all intents and purposes right now is just Phantom Hourglass. It's just Phantom Hourglass, and some ships from not Phantom Hourglass, like I think is the Pyratian. One of these guys, either the Pyratians. I think it's the Pyratians. Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. Could be I think it's Captain Salphos's pirate ship. I don't know. One of these 2 Zelda skeleton pirate ships is from the Oracle's games, and another one's from a Tingle game. Tokay Tribe. You know, these guys are cute. I can't believe it. It's the Gerudos. I mean, there's not much to see, right? It's just several regions. You do have the Green Boblin tribe, who are allies, you know. I'm pretty happy with how I managed to make a fake Arbiter's Grounds out of existing stuff. There's the South Gerudo Maze and the Haunted Wasteland. There's the Desert Palace, which I think is from Into the Past or something. And then Lost Pyramid, which is just an out of bounds, not intentionally an Easter egg. It's just it's like a side of a cliff that the rest of it doesn't load in, and you can only see the one triangle polygon of the cliff if you like play a song, and you can just see it for a second because it's so buggy. And of course, you got the 7 heroines, the Desert Colossus, which is a different thing from Ocarina, Yiga Clan hideout, Mount Agate, which I made huge. It's like part of the boundary of the game. We'll play it. Agate Hot Spring is, I think that's another thing by Speedygamingfan, where they said they saw it. I think they actually provided an image of it on the map, and it was more over here. You know, down here you've got Labrina, you got Rolling Ridge, Talus Peaks, Symmetry City, it's vaguely symmetrical, Zora Village and the Zora Seas, Queen Ambi's Palace, and Luna City and the Natsu River. So I guess the way that I have it in this is, I know that there's time travel in the Labrina game, in Oracle of Ages stuff, but I just decided to combine different things from both. And so Queen Ambi is the queen of the Labrina Republic, but she's like, it's like a constitutional monarchy, and she doesn't really have any power. She's just a fancy lady in a castle. And then the city's pretty big. Triangle Lake's more out of bounds. This is my interpolation. Interpretation? I don't know what words I'm saying. Of a region in Four Swords Adventures, where you go, I think you go south, I could be wrong, but you find the Temple of Ice, and I just decided, screw it. That'll be down there too. Now this is a fun part. First of all, Cliffs of Ontheon is from, I forget what this developer is named, but it's from the Hyrule Total War / Hyrule Conquest fan war game, video game war game, strategy game, yeah. One of them is a mod of Total War, and another one is a mod of, what was it? Another is a mod of 0 AD. Regardless, because this ties into the Zuna tribe, which only I remember, because I'm the only one who's played Four Swords Adventures, I had to add them because they're cool. Gerudo Nomad tribe, that's the Gerudo Nomads in the Desert of Doubt in that game, because there's Gerudos and Zuna in the Desert of Doubt. The Desert Temple, I think that's from Four Swords Adventures. Zuna tribe, they're basically vaguely Middle Eastern, vaguely Indian cactus people, and they're humanoid and they're awesome. Zuna Pyramid, Zuna Village, I love these guys. Also, I didn't even place anything on these islands, but I did place terrain, so that's cool. This is from Tingle, Homeward Port, and the Great Western Prairie, you know. There's not much there, and then just the rest of it. The Eastern Continent, I should also mention, these two landmasses, the Eastern and the Southern, they're from the Boundary Break video where he goes above, he basically goes like above this area right, yeah, whatever, something like that, and he only, he sees these in the, oh shit, he sees these, and they, yeah, I just stretched them out and turned them into the continents because I didn't like the look of the Eastern Continent in Zelda 2 because it's an NES game and it doesn't have a great map. Whereas this one looked good. I don't even think these are actually like continents out in the ocean, but they are now. They are for my map, and they look like continents too. So fuck it. So I'll show you the Eastern Continent real quick. First of all, it's my favorite evil twink wizard, little gnome fairy man, Vati. It's his Palace of the Winds. This is, I think, the final level in Four Swords Adventures, and I never got there because I suck at video games, and I did even more when I was a kid. But if I ever do a Zelda campaign for D&D, like any tabletop role-playing game, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. He's got the Triforce power, not Ganon. Ganon's just a mama's boy. He just listens to his mom all day. He's actually probably an ally. You should probably hang out with him. He's probably a nice Ganon. He's just named that. He's not the evil guy. He's not Demise. This guy got Demise for a little bit, because he's evil. Great Palace, that's from Zelda 2. Now the name of the Eastern Continent being Hyrule comes from, there's some Western comic, it's an adaptation of Zelda 2, and it replaces the Eastern Continent where the Palace on the Sea, which I haven't placed, where the Palace on the Sea is in Zelda 2. They instead of being the Eastern Continent, they call it the Island of Hyrule, and they say, oh, Link had to go through a murky swamp, a desert, a sea, and a canyon and caves. Ooh. So I just added all of those. And yeah, I didn't add the Palace on the Sea because I'm mentally retarded. But that's okay, I can just do it later. Valley of Death. Also, I'm allowed to say retarded. I am mentally ill. That is my word. That is my slur. I can reclaim it if I want to. Valley of Death is very good. One thing I've noticed, you can see that the highland deserts are more like red, and the yellow ones are the lowland ones. But it makes it look like salami and like American like sliced cheese, right? It's like the brightest yellow and like the pinkest red. I just think it looks like salami or like a ham and cheese sandwich, which is funny. I don't think it looks bad. I just think it's funny that it resembles that. And then the Hyronian tribes, this is based on the fan theory, that the people of Lurelin Village are, this was more Breath of the Wild era, were why the Akkala Citadel got built, because people would come from the east, from wherever the east is, and that's why the people of Lurelin Village have like a different look to them and a different culture. I like that, and so I said Hyronian tribes. And what are the names of these tribes? Are they all human? Are some of them Gorons or Glorons or Florons? We will never know, because, well, we might know, I don't know. But I am but a fool, so I haven't had anything here. Now we have to get to the southern continent, which is the final thing. I'll also say there's the Far Eastern Sea. I forget where that name comes from. I think that's from Zelda 2, and it's the place east of the... whatever. Okay, so, before we get to southern Hyrule, which is post-Wind Waker Spirit Tracks era, we got the land of Way-Away, which is where the Ho-Ho tribe, and presumably Mr. Ho-Ho, or whatever the fuck his name is. You know, Ho-Ho! You know, that guy, he's always like, oh, look, there's an evil Lovecraftian monster in the distance. If only I could go there without being eaten. So this is the land of Way-Away, and the Ho-Ho tribe are part of the land of Way-Away. I've decided that Way-Away is like really cold Belgium or France or Switzerland. Why is that? I don't know. The Usotami Desert is from a Tingle game, the Usotami Village. These are a race of beat people, not beating as in hitting. I mean, like, you know, the vegetable or whatever it is, beets. They're like bored people who are always liars. They only ever lie. So that's probably okay. And then all the way on the other side, there's some more. Well, this great ice field is from Spirit Tracks or Phantom Hourglass. I actually forgot to put the Yuke tribe on there, so I'm a fool. The Yukes are a bunch of, like the Yetis from Twilight Princess Medieval. And then over here, you have Salona Isle, which is a bunch of Subrosian-looking guys who hire out mercenaries as middlemen in salons. So that's a really good idea for a race of people. Mount Desna is a volcano. Oh, I got it. Oh? Okay. It's just, the music's just stopping for a second, that's fine. Mount Desna is a big volcano, so I should have added a volcano there. Yamatami tribe are basically just a bunch of vaguely either African or like Pacific Islander sort of tribe people that Tingle deals with, which I'm sure doesn't get racist at all in a Tingle game. Why would it? Tingle's very well known for being very easy to get along with and perfectly normal. Oh, okay, so I think here, let me restart the music. It decided to stop producing forth sounds at all, even though the video didn't. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Really, just the rest of this is just Spirit Tracks, and I haven't played Spirit Tracks. I actually just turned the Fire Realm into the right color instead of all being black, but you know, you got the Snow Realm, and the idea here is these biomes are massive, and so the southern Hylians get around by you know, the Spirit Tracks, you know, railroads and all that, which kind of is why these guys are a little more technologically advanced. You know, Tetra is the Zelda of this place in this setting. The Triforce of Wisdom's cut right in half. Down here you got Tetra. Up here you got Zelda. And they don't know each other because the cliffs are so huge and they don't realize. But you got the Snow Temple, you got the Anuki, which are like these Inuit deer penguin people, which are pretty cute. Forest Realm, you just got some Castle Town, you know. Aboda Village, it's a little village of people. Papuchia Village, that's another tiny little land. Sand Realm, that's, I don't know what's in the Sand Realm at all. Tower of Spirits, this is the Tower of the Spirits of Good, which are the gods of this land that the Lokomo tribe worship, and I'm sure the Lokomo tribe are around here. Blue Bulblins, these guys are not as friendly as the green ones, but they probably could be. And then Fire Realm, this is where the Gorons live, the gay morons, as my mom would say when she would play Zelda. She was actually a big Zelda fan, and she's born in 1962. So that tells you how good Zelda is, that even someone like that can like it. Yeah, I learned how to do that today. And, yeah. I mean, really, I think that's it. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other major things I've overlooked, and I don't think so. Nope. Okay. Bye-bye.